Hey guys, it's Zach from the Concon channel, and in this video I'm going to show you how to complete the second encounter called the Activation in the new Vesper Host Dungeon as a solo in Destiny 2. Now in the second encounter you're going to come to this area and you're going to get a banner that you can rally to for ammo. Now in order to start this encounter you're going to go up to this boy in the middle of the room and you're going to reboot the system. Once you do so, there's going to be a brig that spawns in the middle of the room. Now you want to take him out as quick as possible, but there is no rush. It's just in order to get to the next section of this mission. Once you take out a brig, there's going to be a dreg that will spawn in with the yellow augmentation. Now before picking up the yellow augmentation, just a quick thing to note, there's going to be three entrances: the blue entrance, the red entrance, which is this one over here to the right of the entrance of this actual room, and the yellow entrance. Once you've identified the entrances, when you get the yellow augmentation, you can then choose either one of the three doors to enter into. The reason I say don't pick it up yet is because you get a 1-minute timer with the yellow augmentation, so you don't want to pick it up and then scramble for a door and waste time. Because once you enter into the area, you pretty much need to kill the enemies as fast as you possibly can so we can get to those terminals to keep us alive. Because once we get to the terminals, we can then place down our augmentations and we don't need to worry about the timer. And just before entering these areas, there'll always be these two invisible bosses, but once we get into this area, we're going to place the augmentation, and now we don't have to worry about dying. Just keep in mind, there's going to be another 2 bosses once we enter into this area, and a whole bunch of shanks that are going to spawn. So I recommend just taking out the shanks, just quickly. They're going to keep spawning, but you just want to lessen the load. And then there's going to be this vandal with the red augmentation behind us. Now obviously, like the previous encounter, the red augmentation is for destroying the plates, and the yellow one is for identifying which plates we need to shoot. Now like I said, just be careful when you have the red augmentation, because you can by accident shoot them if you're not careful. Now we're going to place the red augmentation into this terminal so that we stay alive and don't have to worry about the timer. And now we're going to pick up the yellow one. Now we're just going to go through, and while killing all of the shanks, we're going to just quickly identify which plates we need to shoot. So we look at our map, the white ones are the ones we need to shoot, and when they go blank, those are the ones obviously we should not shoot. And if you're doing the solo like I am, you kind of just have to memorize the locations of the white plates that we need to shoot. It's not too difficult, as there's usually only 4 that we need to shoot, so it's not too bad. But now that we know it's this one, that one, the one against this one, the one there, we can now wait for the shanks to spawn in quickly, just so that we don't have to worry really about getting confused because of these shanks. Don't forget to place your augmentation back before the timer runs out. And now once we've killed them, we can then go ahead and shoot everything we need to shoot. There we go. Now we are going to place the augmentation back in, and the reason you want to keep these augmentations in the terminals is because they'll actually spawn in the other areas once we get there. So we don't actually need to like run all the way back with the augmentations and go back and forth. We can literally just keep it in the terminal and pick it up in the ones in the other 2 areas. Now once you have the nuclear reactor spawn, you just quickly want to kill these bosses that are on the outside to slow you down. And once you kill them, you can then go ahead and pick up the nuke. Now once you pick up the nuke, you're going to get a radiation debuff, and it's pretty much just going to slow you down, but just follow my path, as I'm going to give you the quickest path to get back with also avoiding as many enemies as possible. You kind of don't want to mess up your jumps and stuff because you will slow down quite a bit. When you get to the enemies, just make sure you drop the thing and actually kill the enemies, because otherwise you will in fact die. Now once you get back, there's going to be a brig in the middle of the room. Now you want to kill it as quick as possible, because as you can see, there is still a timer on the nuke that we need to get. Once you destroy the brig, you can then place the nuclear core inside of the deposit, and now we are safe. So now we can just enter through one of the remaining 2 doors, because you don't really have to worry too much about the enemies here. So now I'm going to go through the red door, which is this one right over here. Once you enter, there's going to be enemies, and obviously the 2 invisible bosses will be just right ahead of us. And they are going to be right over here. Luckily, they are fairly easy to kill, so we don't have to worry too much about them. And they don't deal that much damage either. But once you kill them, the entrance to the next area will spawn, and then you'll get another set of bosses that you need to kill again. As you can see there, they go invisible. And then obviously the shanks will start spawning over and over again, so you can either choose to deal with them or just leave them. Now, as you can see, the augments are in the terminal because we left it in the previous terminal from the previous entrance that we went through, which is perfect. And now we just need to go up to the plates to identify which ones we need to shoot. So it's going to be the 2 in the middle. Not that one. Okay. So now that we've identified which terminals we need to shoot, it's going to be that one on the left, the 2 in the middle, and the one at the back left, right from the entrance. Can then put the augmentation back. Now I recommend before picking up the red one, just clear this wave of shanks just so that they don't distract you. Once they're cleared, pick up your red augmentation, and now we can go ahead and start destroying the plates. There we go, and now we can then place back the augmentation so that we don't have to worry about the 1-minute timer, and then just kill this last wave of shanks because I don't think they'll spawn in now that the nuclear core has been dropped. Oh, and you also just want to kill these bosses that are going to spawn here before you pick up the nuclear core. They're going to be like right outside the door to leave. Okay, once they die, you can then go ahead and pick up the reactor. And the nice thing is, after completing these waves of enemies, you pretty much get your ult back. So when you reach the brig that spawns in the middle, you can just activate your ult and take it out quickly. Once it's dead, you can then head to the back and place the nuclear core in the depository. Now, once that's done, you can take a bit of a breather, and then you can obviously decide if you want to go through the next door or not. But once you're ready to go through the next door, you can then proceed through the 3rd and final door, where there'll be once again quite a few enemies that you need to take out. And then obviously the bosses that you have to take out. Like so. And then it's literally all of them are the same. They're all going to include the shanks, the invisible bosses, and yeah, it's pretty much just rinse and repeat. The areas are just going to look slightly different, but the mechanics in each area are the exact same. And as you can see, as we enter this room, our red augmentation is going to be to the right of the entrance here. Just remember there's going to be 2 more bosses that spawn, so just try and kill the shanks so that you don't get overwhelmed. And then once we enter, here are the 2 bosses. Okay, there we go. And they are both dead. Now in the area, you'll just find this yellow augment over here. And now we need to identify the plates. So once we've identified which ones we need to shoot, we can then go ahead and place the yellow augmentation back. Now we need to go fetch the red one that was near the entrance of this area. So it's going to be right over here. Now we're going to quickly run before the shanks spawn in. And we know it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now we can pick up this. And really, don't be afraid to drop the nuclear reactor if you must, because as you can see, the enemies, they will kill you if you don't destroy them. And don't forget to place back your augmentation. You can do it while having the nuke in your hand. Now just remember that, like I said, it's important to drop the nuke, but as well, a thing to remember is as soon as you pick it up, the nuke's timer will stop running. So you want to try and be as quick as you possibly can with this last entrance, the entrance 3, so that by the time you get back, you'll be able to kill the boss and still have enough time to place the nuke in the deposit. Because you'll see now when we come back, the brig is going to be a giant brig and it has a lot more health. And what I recommend doing is using your prismatic class ability so that you can constantly cycle through your class abilities, and then obviously using your ult as soon as it's about to end. I was using quite an OP Titan build where you slide and smash down. I forgot what that Titan build is called. And as you can see, I'm using my ult to finish off the boss after I ran out of melees, because essentially the type of Titan build I run, you need the melees to do the slide and smash. But once we use up our ult, our prismatic ability, and our melees, you'll see that the boss is pretty weak. And we actually cut it so close with only 3 seconds left on the clock. And like I said, guys, it's really mainly crunch for the time in this situation. And I almost died, but as soon as I placed the nuke in the deposit, we ended up finishing it. Now for the Titan build that I used in this encounter, it's going to be the Prismatic Titan. Now for my prismatic effects, I used the Facet of Dawn, the Facet of Purpose, the Facet of Courage, Facet of Balance, and the Facet of Protection. As this is a consecration build, everything is catered towards obviously the slamming down, and it's pretty much a melee build. So you'll see that with my armor, all of it is focused on melee. So when I melee, I drop orbs. That helps me with my ult. When I melee, I heal from picking up the orbs. I also go invisible if I use my melee. So it was quite a very helpful build. The weapons I used was the core. This pretty much one-shots all the like normal adds. The risk runner helped a lot for these shanks, as in all 3 areas that you need to go to include shanks, and they are there's a lot of them, and this just kills all of them quickly because the arc kind of goes through all the enemies, like it does area of effect damage. And then for the heavy weapon, I just use Sins of the Past. This has just done so much for me because it just does so much damage, but I'm pretty sure you can use any heavy you want. But yeah guys, that is the build. I hope this video helps you out. I don't know if it'll help as much for warlocks and hunters, but hey, if I can do it, I'm sure you can do it. It's been Zach from the Con channel. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks for watching.